Hello, everybody, and welcome to Outlandercast. Today is going to be a little bit of a different kind of episode. Not because, and nothing bad is happening or whatever, but just because this is what I feel like doing. Mary's not here, and as you can tell from the title that is on the feed, I'm actually going to give you an insight into Blake's book club. Because, surprise! I started the book club for Drums of Autumn, thus the season 4 music from Outlander. And this was entitled Life in America. So I figure, you know what? Why not? Let's just read the first Blake's book club and put it on the feed. And if you guys or ladies are happy to go forward with Blake's book club, please go to one of the links that's provided right here in the show notes and sign up for it over at jointhenerdclan.com. But yeah, we're going to, again, surprise, a free Blake's book club just so you get a chance to read it. So this is for Drums of Autumn, Chapter 1, A Hanging in Eden. So here we are. Usually what I do is a chapter summary, and I like to make sure that, some of us, it's been a while since we have read these books. So chapter 1, the summary, is as such. On a scorching June day, the rhythmic pounding of drums reverberates through the crowd. And that's kind of why I get now that this title for this book is Drums of Autumn, which, oddly enough, I've never put that together. Anyway, Claire, sweltering amidst the throng, searches for Jamie while Fergus does the same. The fluttering flags of Great Britain and South Carolina accompany the growing drum roll as red-coated soldiers lead 3 prisoners to the gallows. Is that Gavin Hayes? He looks sick, Claire murmurs to Fergus. He's drunk, comes from a soft voice from behind. Jamie stands at Claire's shoulder, eyes fixed on the grim procession. Gavin Hayes, a Scottish prisoner from Ardsmuir, found himself in America only to face further hardship. Caught stealing £6, 10 shillings, his life is forfeit, with Jamie Fraser's face being his last sight. Gabin, I'm not even going to try. So we're just going to leave that as it is. Something in Gaelic, leave it there. Amid the execution, one prisoner, a tall young man with dirty blonde hair, seizes the moment to escape, disappearing into the crowd and causing a commotion. Jamie and Claire leave Fergus to handle Gavin's body and set off to find young Ian. Claire reassures Jamie that their modest wealth is safely hidden on her person, while Jamie carries gemstones. They find Ian by the docks, now the owner of a large wolfish dog won in a dice game. Jamie is furious upon learning Ian missed his ship back to Scotland, which sailed 3 days earlier, behind Ian and his new dog to them in America. Damn, Jamie mutters, reverting to English. Bloody damn, it's not that I didn't want you, Ian. You know that I should like nothing better than to keep you with me, but what in the hell will your mother say? I dinna ken, Uncle, Ian replies, but she'll be saying it in Scotland, won't she? And we're here. The group, Jamie, Claire, Ian, and Duncan Innes, heads to the Willow Tree and inn where they plan to meet Fergus. The inn is bustling, but they find seats in the corner of the tap room, using Rollo the dog as a distraction. With tankards of dark ale, they discuss their next steps. Duncan suggests traveling north to New Bern, where Jamie has kin, a plan met with enthusiasm despite the potential dangers. Oh, let's go north, Uncle, Ian says eagerly. The journey might be dangerous. You'll need an extra man along for protection, eh? We might meet with Red Indians, Ian exclaims, eyes wide. Fergus arrives amid a flurry of militia. They discuss arrangements for Gavin Hayes' burial, but the priest's fee of 10 shillings is beyond their means. Duncan, emboldened by drink and nostalgia, begins the ceremonial catharis, a Gaelic lament for the dead. The dramatic performance not only brings in some needed cash, but also ensures that the travelers remain highly noticeable. So, here are my thoughts after that summary. Okay, so here's the thing. This chapter is a pretty wild ride. We are put right into the thick of things with no context, no help, and absolutely no hand-holding. And in many ways, it kind of reminds me of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I think there are many great advantages to this kind of storytelling. The world as we know it in Outlander is spinning regardless of whenever the book begins. It's not as if in this instance the characters went into cryostasis waiting for the next book to begin. No. They have had their lives and they've been living their lives outside of this book, and you just right now happen to be getting a peek into their lives at this moment. And the other side to that is that it can be a little bit jarring. And when I started reading, I thought I actually missed a chapter, or that there were pages missing from the book, which, by the way, would not be an outstanding event in House Larson, because our books have been ravaged by our children and just by constant use. I was like, did I miss something? At any rate, I pretty much did a double take to make sure I didn't mess anything up. And I honestly don't remember Gavin from any other book, even if he is noted in previous stories at all, really. And it's kind of odd to feel anything Jamie feels without even remembering the person we're reading about. Nonetheless, like I said, this chapter is quite the roller coaster. It starts off on a somber note with the death of an old friend and the dire situation of Jamie and Claire really feeling friendless and penniless in a new land. Their desperation, I think, is really palpable. And it's clear, at least from what I can see, that we have never seen them or experienced them this low on resources or availability to them in any stretch of their relationship. But by the end of the chapter, there does seem to be a glimmer of hope. Jamie and Claire manage to reaffirm old friendships. They set a course to reconnect with family and other Highlanders. They honor their dead, and they come up with a temporary, if not elegant, solution, thanks to Fergus passing the hat. Not to mention, they gain a new companion in the form of a large and relatively semi-terrifying dog for Ian. Excuse me. I actually have a little bit of a cold, so if you can't hear that, that's the reason why I'm coughing and sniffling. It's funny. Rollo the dog in the show is not what is described in the book. I get a sense that Rollo is much bigger and seems a lot more unkempt and a little bit more wild than what we see in the show. It just kind of feels like a dog in the show. I don't know. It's just an interesting thing. One of the highlights of this chapter, though, is seeing Jamie. It's seeing Jamie and Claire settle back into their marriage, if not more from when they were in book 3, but it feels like we're getting back to the Jamie and Claire that we actually know. And despite the constant challenges and lack of what I would probably call restful moments, the sense of rushing from one life-threatening crisis to another has somewhat abated. It doesn't feel like we're just... It doesn't feel like an episode of 24, right? We're not going from one thing to the next. Book 3 kind of felt like that a little bit. And because of this, it seems as though Jamie and Claire have finally had the ability to find their relationship post Claire coming back, coming into a new stasis, coming into something, a new synthesis, if you will, of how their love and their relationship will move and work as they go forward in America. Excuse me. So, young Ian, I love young Ian in this chapter. He's like, yeah, Ma's in Scotland and we're here, so how's that work? He is really a delight. And his attitude towards Jenny's opinion is really funny. And the decision not to send Ian back on just any ship to Scotland is certainly understandable, given the lack of money and the need for a trusted captain, which is well known to either Jamie or to Jared, to ensure Ian's overall safety. And safety is important, and loyalty is important, and we get a chance to see that here with Jamie and his friend Gavin, as they are, and considering their relationship in the past, and it is certainly moving. He ensures that Gavin does not face his last moments alone, providing him with whiskey to dull the pain and staying by his side despite the risk of being recognized by the British Army. All that is to say that Jamie's willingness to risk his own safety for his friend speaks volumes about his character. This chapter also brings up the issue of blending into the crowd, and while Jamie and his companions might have been better off remaining inconspicuous, and I certainly would agree with that, Jamie's desire to ease Gavin's stress and provide him comfort in his last moments takes precedence no matter what. This act of loyalty and compassion, even at great personal risk, is a testament to Jamie's character and his sense of duty to his friends. Ian's reluctance to leave and Jamie's decision to keep him close is understandable, given their recent harrowing experiences in Book 3. And Jamie's protective instincts are strong, and his fear of losing Ian again is definitely palpable. Rollo, the new dog, does bring a bit of levity to the chapter, of course. That's what he's meant to do. And Claire's wariness and frequent comments about the dog wanting to eat everyone are amusing, especially considering her past experiences with wolves in Outlander, all the way back when she was Liam Neeson in Outlander, the first book. And despite her initial reservations, it's clear that Ian and Rollo have formed a very quick and very easy bond. And the mention of Gavin's son and the fate of other men who crashed with them in Georgia adds depth to this narrative, even in the beginning of this chapter, highlighting the ongoing challenges and uncertainties faced by the characters. Overall, this chapter is a rich tapestry of emotions and events, showcasing the resilience, the loyalty, and the determination of Jamie and Claire and their companions as they navigate their new reality here in America. When we talk about the somber moments and the acts of loyalty that we've witnessed and the glimpses of hope that we recognize, we get a chance to see how compelling and engaging this first chapter is, and quite a great start to Drums of Autumn. And that's it for now. Well, I hope you enjoyed this first chapter of Blake's Book Club. If you did, click the link in the show notes, go to jointhenerdclan.com, and become a member there to read the rest of everything that I have to say for Drums of Autumn. Until then, we'll see you at that point.